Welcome to the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Dana Jones. I am a certified personal trainer, and I'm here to help you achieve your fitness goals without pain. In each episode, I'll share tips and strategies that will help you stay safe and pain-free while you're working out. I'll also interview experts in the field of fitness and pain management. So if you're ready to learn how to stay active and pain-free, then subscribe to the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast today. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Dana Jones, and today marks a special milestone. This is my 100th episode. Hold on, I got it. Yeah. How about that? I thought I'd have a little fun with it. So whether you've been here since day one or you just discovered the show, thank you. Truly thank you for listening, for sharing, and for showing up. This podcast is as much yours as it is mine. I wanted to take this time to kind of reflect on some things that have happened as we've gone along. When I started the podcast, I never imagined I would make it this far. I had a simple vision, which was creating space where athletes of all levels could learn how to train, move, live without pain. But what I didn't realize is how deeply personal this journey would become. It was actually my journaling, but what I didn't realize is how deeply personal this journey would become. I was nervous. Would anyone care? Can I find my voice? Would people say yes to being interviewed with someone with zero podcasting experience? Remember, this was all born out of me sitting there and thinking, I should have a podcast, and then Instacarting a microphone and getting started from there. I don't have all the answers, but I had a purpose, and I wanted to pull back the curtain on what healing really looks like physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And from that little spark, the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast was born. It has been quite the run, and looking back, I'm super proud of what I've accomplished and how far I've come from those early unpolished episodes recording from my living room couch to deep conversations with world-renowned guests. The show has grown in ways that I could have never predicted. I remember my first interview. I had zero clue what to do, but I had notes. I had some backups, and still I managed to screw up the audio. Shout out to Trish for really just going with it. And that is who she is. She's definitely someone who can kind of calm me down, and we were able to accomplish it. And her story was important to the podcast and to also my journey. And that's what kind of allowed this podcast to be real, raw, and deeply human. So again, thank you, Trish, for kicking us off. One of the most surprising things that I've learned is how much I would grow through this process. I've learned to listen differently, to trust myself more, to embrace imperfection. Even on the podcast, there's been some very interesting kind of, you say confessions, but yes, they've come out. I figured that each class or each episode has been a mini masterclass, not just in healing the body, but in understanding the mind-body connection. And that has been extremely important to me. I've had the opportunity to interview some really super cool people. I got the opportunity to interview Dawson Church talking about epigenetics and the science of joy. Absolutely mind-blowing. Georgie Ofield, my OG person from the UK who is at the baseline of everything TMS, got the opportunity to talk about how emotions show up in your body. And for me, that was awesome to have her on the show because I have been following her for years. And so it was super cool to have kind of an icon here. And of course, having Charlie Merrill was amazing because he is able to put things into clear, concise manner, as well as showing compassion for athletes. And I just love the fact that he and I were able to have that meaningful conversation. And then there were little surprises like interviewing Jessica Webb, who I interviewed while she was in the middle of a jungle in India. And you could see the animals in the background. It was pretty cool. That conversation was powerful reminder that healing is global and it transcends time zones and internet glitches, and a huge reminder that healing in all forms. And through her organization, Liberation Found, she gets the opportunity to share case studies to validate it. And then all the people who I have met and enjoyed interviewing who have been willing to share their stories and their vulnerability and their hard-earned wisdom. I am deeply grateful. But above all, the true heartbeat of the show is you. Your emails, your DMs, your reviews, shared stories are what keeps this podcast going. When someone says, I listened to this episode and finally felt seen, or I didn't realize my injury had emotional roots until your show, that's everything to me. I just got a note from somebody on YouTube who said, I didn't know I needed to hear this today, but thank you. So for me, you all need to know that this just isn't about reducing pain. It's about reclaiming your body, your joy, and your life, and cutting down that isolation that so many of us suffer from when we suffer from chronic pain. Some of the things that I've learned, I'm glad I just started. As a TMSer, I know we all have the tendency to overthink things, and I'm just so grateful that I have that, what is it called, ready, fire, aim aspect of me that just said, do it, and who cares what it sounds like. The power is in the message, and that is something that I have definitely learned. Tech stuff, there's a lot from editing, booking guests, handling email requests. It has been a journey, let's say, to say the least. So I am glad that I've done this. And so what's next for the Pain-Free Athlete? More episodes focused on nervous system regulation, trauma-informed recovery, movement science, and emotional expression. More inspiring guest interviews, more practical tips for real people dealing with real pain, and maybe some live podcast tapings, who knows? Listener Q&A series, love that. Roundtable discussions are definitely coming. I'm dreaming big, and I love for you to dream with me. Let me know, what do you want to hear in the next 100 episodes? Above all, I just want to thank everyone. I want to thank every guest who said yes, every listener who hit play, every supporter who shared this show with a friend and left a review. Especially, I want to thank my friends and family who've cheered me on even when I doubted myself. And to my athletes and private clients, you all teach me every day what resilience looks like. Here is to the next chapter. Here is to continuing to grow, heal, and move together. Thank you for being part of the Pain-Free Athlete community. Here's to 100 episodes and many more to come. Wait, I need something.